Nawala si Pao. Okay, good. Recording's now starting. Ay, sorry. Tapos kasi yun ang mali. May keyboard kasi ako ngayon. May tama lang. May keyboard. Um, okay naman siya pero wala siyang function keys. Kailangan pa pinipin yung key or para ma-activate mo yung function key. So if you are into keyboards, ayan lang. Be careful lang sa pagpili ng. Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you all for spending this hour with me on a Saturday afternoon or evening. So this is going to be about my career shifter story and about how I started as a Raketeer. So yeah, my name is Josh. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Josh Valterion, and right now I'm um, sorry, may nag-join pala. Uh, so if may nag-join lang guys, and if you can accept, let me pa-accept na lang sila para ah, hindi na tayo mag-switch screen. So yeah, I'm a BI specialist. It's my full-time role, and right now I have actually three hustles. So one of them, yung major is yung Python dev role ko for an e-commerce company. Maliit lang yung company to. So, ayan. Then, I'm also an SQL/VBA developer for a healthcare company. Pero medyo malaki. Ito, well, hindi siya medyo. Malaki talaga yung pinakonsultahan naming company. Ayun. Then, also, ito yung pinakamaliit kong racket, which is about our development. So, for data and finance. So, konting data analysis lang and modeling. Right now, I have two affiliations. One with Tech Career Shifters. Ako yung taga-approve doon ng isa sa mga taga-approve ng mga request to join and mga nagpo-post ng mga anonymous. So, ayun. And also, I am part of Filipino Power Platform users group. So, if you guys are into um, Power Platform and want to learn about Power Platform, feel free to join this group. Um, this coming month, or not really month, pero the next couple of months, we are going to be working on a project, siguro, or parang regular sessions just to, showcase our platform. And maybe one of the things that I would also be sharing with you guys, it will be about our automated. So yeah. And of course, I have my own page, Josh, that's FB page. So if you haven't liked my page yet, feel free to like this one para happy naman tayo. Charot. Okay. And siguro house rules lang natin is pretty straightforward naman here. If you have any Teams questions, raise that question via Teams chat, or you can just raise your hand and open up your mic. Feel free to open up your mic and your cameras. Okay lang naman. So para mas maging interactive yung session natin. Pagpasensya, hinahawi ko yung buhok ko lagi. um, yeah, so that's pretty much it in my slides. Ay, sorry. Yeah, that's just gonna be the agenda for today. So I just want to be go through my resume, because this will show you guys. Well, this will also be the way how I would um, describe my journey towards where I'm now. So it's not big yet, but at least uh, the things that I've been planning to do beforehand, or when I was still trying to learn all these stuff. At least nagagagawa ako naman siya ngayon. And of course, I would also want to share the thoughts and about side hustling, especially yung mga lessons na natutunan ko. Yeah, kasi there are some really challenging part sa paghanap, not just paghahanap, but also for doing extra hustles. Kasi, yeah, later more on that. So I will be sharing my thoughts on that. And of course, maybe how you can get started with side hustling. Maybe yun. So parang just to talk about how can you go about juggling different jobs at once. So ayun. So wala naman ako presentation. It's just really about an overview of uh, the demographics of um, survey form that you have answered. So I think mga total registrants natin. Actually, hindi ko pa siya na-refresh, but we have actually right now we have 158 registrants. So 138 registered for SI's ETL ETL development session, which is last week, at 88 registered ngayon, which is hindi natin nakikita yung iba. So that's fine naman. 79% of the registrants are career shifters. So yeah, the shift sila ng career from different roles. And this is a breakdown per industry. So many of you guys came from the private sector. Next would some of the second biggest chunk of the group are licensed professionals. Maybe these are engineers kasi usual sa mga career shifters um, are coming from the engineering side of the industry. Okay, meron din mga estudyante. May others, which later on I'll show you kung sino-sino mga others ito. And we have from academe, public sector, and non-government organizations or non-profit organizations. And may dalawang business owner. Ayan. And yung percentage ng career shifters per industry, yung dalawa dito na 100%, well, that's because it's just three of them or two of them. So, kaya mataas yung percentage nila. And for the rest, these are their corresponding rates of career shifters. So madami-dami din naman tayong career shifters um, in the group. So which is great because that's also what I've been planning to target. Kasi syempre, I just want to be somehow I just want to somehow contribute people who are still starting or trying to get into tech or parang hindi pa masyadong alam kung anong steps nila towards tech or data. At yung other na 'to, these are from aviation, ESL teacher, finance, surveillance. And I'm not sure kung anong surveillance 'to, pero it's an interesting one. And there are people who are already doing freelancing. So, and some are actually isa lang yata 'to na may OFW. And which is great kasi parang 'di ba parang concept naman ng OFWs are they are going abroad para get a job for tech job kasi always you can actually be employed kahit nandito tayo sa Pinas for a remote job. Okay, and some word cloud lang ng mga ito yung mga sinagot niyo by the way. May mga 'di ba meron dalawang question diyan about um, your purpose of joining the session and what things that you would like to be having next time. So ayan. So meron tayo dito mga parang more on ETL, SQL. So they really want to learn of things about these things. And for the right side, yung mga nilook forward nyo na topics are more on SQL. I can see Python, data engineering, ETL. Ayun, may Alteryx pala dito. So may Tableau. Actually, medyo various siya, but good. So yeah, as mentioned nga kanina sa nung nagkukwentuhan pa lang kami, it's my goal is not to give you guys any basic topics or parang yung fundamentals kasi ang dami na kasing resources and references na basics. So pwede niyo na gamitin yung mga basics sessions na yun. And my focus would always be on the practical side. So kung paano tayo mag-develop ng projects, paano tayo gagamit yung mga tools meron tayo to develop something. So more on the development side na. And of course, a little bit of parang understanding of the business. Kasi last time, nung nag-EPL session tayo, um, nag, nag-discuss din ako doon ng kaunting parang project management side. Understanding kung tama ba yung mga ginagawa natin sa ETL. Mga ganun. So, and that's just really my focus. I don't really want to go into the basics kasi yeah, again, I don't want to make contents that are already there. So, yeah. So, yun lang yung mga slides ko. Pero, yeah, we're just gonna be going through a couple of items lang. So, these are the topics again. So, we'll go through my resume. Pero, yeah, may mga nag-join ba hindi ko pa na-accept? Okay lang naman. Okay, so may mga newcomers pala tayo. So, we have um, Ay, sino yung mga katabi? Di ko pala ano. Pero yeah, welcome to the newcomer. So we just started naman. We have you have not missed out on anything pa. Okay, so as mentioned, I'm gonna be going through my resume just to talk about my story. No, yeah. So let me start tayo. Yeah, I graduated last 2017. I think aking um course business ad major in marketing management yung tinapos ko sa PUP Santa Mesa, Manila. Um, yun. 2017 ako graduate pero 2016 nag-work na ako. So for the um kasi meron kami ng ano parang course on practicum. So OJT. So ang pinaka-requirement lang sa amin noon is to get a payslip. So yun lang, ganun lang kadali. So um ayun. So nag-apply ako ng ano um BPO dun kasi yun yung parang nire-recommend din ng mga friends ko sa BPO. Ah, at sabay kasi sila mag-apply nung time na yun. And ayun, so kaya ako napadpad sa BPO, not BDO, and BPO. So I started out as a call center agent. Nag-support din kami via chat for what do you call that? For a learning platform company. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pearson Education. So ayun yung naging project namin nun. Yun, basic tech support siya. Kaya medyo naging savvy din ako sa browsers, sa pagko-configure sa pag-clear cache, yung mga konting ganun lang. So, it's not too technical, pero technical support kami. So, ayun, more on navigation kasi siya. Like, if you have an online course, and your inquiries are about, how do I get into this course? How can I access my assignment? Mga ganun. So, yeah. Then, pagka-graduate ko 2017, that's around May eh. Um, May din ako nag-start maging trainer. So, product trainer. So, I do product training. Pero before nun, di pa siya official parang um, di siya parang confirmation na trainer na ako, but more on uh, internal hire lang. Pero wala pa yung actual title. So, alam niyo naman yan. Uso talaga siya. Uh, so, there. 2017, naging trainer na ako. Then, 2018, yun, trainer pa din naman ako. It's still with the same company, Sykes. If you are familiar with Sykes, which is right now ang tawag na sa kanila is forever. Ano tawag doon? Inaasar ko kasi yung mga nandun pa sa Sykes eh, na um, medyo nakokornian kasi ako sa pangalan ng company nila ngayon. So apologies kung may mga nandun pa siya. Pero yeah, medyo nakokornian lang ako sa title ng Sykes ngayon. Forever something yun eh. But yeah. So 2018, I'm still with Sykes as a trainer. Pero that was a time when I got into Excel. So may nag-Excel ba dito on your day-to-day work? Excel, Microsoft Excel? Okay naman? Okay, wala, or ayun, meron dito si Eden. Okay, thanks. Okay, good. So, Excel. So, before kasi na nagte-training pa ako, meron kaming student report card. Yun ang tinatawag namin na parang master list of the trainees that we are handling. Doon namin monitor yung attendance sila, pati yung scores sa training assessments namin. And doon talaga calculate lahat doon naman makikita yung parang future ng ahente. So, nice advanced Excel, right? Kailangan talaga yung mga sum if na yan, lalo yung array functions. Kaso delicate din. Pero yeah. So yun, when I got my first training class around 2017 actually yun, parang doon ako napukaw ng Excel. Parang I wanted to learn Excel kasi parang ang astig na nakakalculate mo yung mga values doon. And from the entries that you have there, tapos on the next column, magiging ganito na yung value niya. So, doon ako na-astigan. Kaya, somehow, I wanted to learn Excel. Nun. And siguro fast forward to 2018, I learned Excel. I can say na medyo nasabi na ako dun sa tool na yon. And 2018 din ako nag-start mag-aral ng macro. So, may nagma-macro ba dito? VBA. Actually, ngayon meron na silang meron na silang online version ng macro, which is Office script. Hindi na siya VBA, pero medyo lapit siya sa JavaScript as far as I know. Kasi ganun din si Google Sheets. Ang parang pang-automate niya is um, app script. Tapos yung language dyan, similar to JavaScript. So, may naging project din ako na ganun. Yeah, didinig ko lang sa work. Yeah, astig siya. Pero, yeah, so it's actually what's being used to automate process in Excel. Okay, so yeah, ayun, nag-aral na ako ng macro and tapos paano ako nakarating sa sa pagpo-pursue ng data science. Before kasi I was planning to get a data science job. Pero right now, sorry, back then, last 2018, siguro quarter 3 or quarter 4 na yata yun. Nagkaroon kasi kami ng training on data visualization. Isang buong araw na training lang yun. Um, so, if anyone here familiar with Isaac Reyes? Isaac Reyes? Rings a bell? Wala naman. Okay, so there was a training that was given to some of our parang business developers doon sa Sykes na nag-conduct ng training tapos in-adopt nila yung training na yun para maging internal training sa Sykes. So that's now the data visualization training now. Ayun, no, tinake namin siya and it's actually a good training kasi it gave you parang the fundamentals of data visualization. So why do we use bar charts? Why do we use pie charts? Or why don't we want to use pie charts versus for this particular data and why it's more effective to just display text instead of a graph. Mga ganong questions. Naturo sa amin yung time na yun. Kaya that was parang somehow my turning point towards data. So that's when I started to be more interested in data. And the first time, I think, yun yung time na narinig ko yung term na data science. So yeah, 2018, self-study pa rin ako ng data visualization, Excel, macro, at doon actually nakapag-develop na ako ng mga uh, projects or parang mga files that helps us automate. So for example, 'di ba, remember kanina meron kaming mga student master list or parang what do you call that? Parang tracking file namin for the trainees. So, gumawa ako ng parang code or ng macro, transfer the data that you have on your master list sa class mo, papunta sa master list ng buong training team. So, para ma-consolidate natin lahat ng updates kasi every week we have to consolidate all those updates para makuha namin yung overall training attrition, training throughput, tsaka yung training performance and all those stuff. So yun, medyo marami nang ginawa din na mga projects. I also created a calculator for quality monitoring scorecard. So anyone here from BPO industry or naging BPO agent or naging member or naging part ng BPO industry? Wala? Okay. Sige. So yan, 'di ba mga call center agents, they are being assessed on their calls. So they are using a scorecard for that. So most of the time they are using an Excel file na naka-macro para makikita mo yung drop down, makakapag-pull ka ng agent record para automated yung process ng pag-encode ng data. So ayun. So I developed a similar tool for that for a certain certification na ginagawa namin doon. So yeah, I pretty much did a lot of things using Excel before. So ayun. Then 2019, I went out of Sykes. Tapos nag-move ako to another call center company. Pero the role is no longer a product trainer, but I was a communications coach. So I was doing parang trainings on language, tapos coaching sessions para ma-address yung mga opportunities ng agents when it comes to speaking, mga ganun. Um, ayun, medyo naboringan ako sa role na yun kasi it's uh, it's not really for me, I would say kasi parang, well, language, hindi naman ako gano'n kagaling sa technical na aspect ng English, eh. So, um, minsan maarte lang ako magsalita pero, I'm not really that great in, teaching people in, the technicalities of language, especially the art side of language. Like, for example, parang negotiate effectively, mga gano'n. Parang hirap niya kasing turo. So ayan, ewan ko ba't ko rin tinanggapin, eh. Ayan, but, yeah, medyo maikli lang time ko dun, around 9 months lang yata ako sa company na yun, IOPEX, if you guys are familiar. Pero with Sykes, I lasted for almost 4 years. Yun yung pinakamatagal kong work. Um, so after IOPEX, that that's when the pandemic started. Dun ko din first time na-experience yung work from home. Since 2019 kasi ako na-hire kay IOPEX. 2020 nagkaroon ng pandemic and, ayun, so ang daming mga nangyari. So ayun, March na yata siya, March yung parang last day ko dun sa IOPEX sa site. Then bumalik ako dun ng May, tapos nag-resign din ako dun after din. Tapos June na ako nakapag-start sa new work ko. Um, okay, so let's talk about the pandemic session or the pandemic year 2020. So March 2020, doon ko na kilala si Project Sparta. So may Project Sparta people ba dito? Project Sparta, yun meron. So JL, anong batch ka? I mean, eto ba yung sa first run or sa linang na ginagamit mo? Kasi yung linang is parang bago na siya, eh. So dati ang gamit pa namin is Course Bank. So ayun. So Project Sparta, ayun linang na, okay. Good, good. Yan, so year 4, this year, okay, good, good. Kami yung year 1 yata, eh. Ay ito si Pao, nasa course bank pa siya. Tapos di ko natapos yung course bank. Nag-ulit ka. Okay, good, good. Actually, hindi ko rin siya natapos. Ang tinake ko ng path is data scientist. Tapos, ayun. m- Ayun, so masaya naman siya. So, may mga tanong naman kasi. Tapos yung around March kasi, 2020, tatlo yung available yata na course pa nila. So of course, yung pinaka-basic which is the getting started with analytics yata yun by Sir Sherwin Pelayo. Then ang pinaka-favorite na na-take ko dun about data visualization is yung drill down analytics and dashboarding. Yung kay Miss, ano ba yung name niya? Pero she just use Excel to demo dashboarding and drill down analytics. Kasi ang ganda ng pagkakadiscuss niya doon. Plus, ang detalye. So, gawa ka sa dashboard. Uh, Tsaka ano mo, yung pinaka end-to-end niya, like how do you develop or design a dashboard prior to really implementing it. So, ayun. So, 2020, March, natapos ko na natin yung mga courses noon. Kaso yun nga, di pa nga ganun karami yung courses niya. Yun yung naging challenge ni Sparta back then. Parang, since nga nag-pandemic, so, yung mga courses, medyo nag-stop din ng production doon. Pero, may, si Coursera kasi, nagkaroon siya din ng parang free courses doon for a lot of courses. I yung pinakauna kong na-take na Python course was yung IBM na training session or parang parang ang tawag doon, specialization kay Coursera. If you have taken the data science track using Python using by IBM. So yun, tinake ko din yun. So, pero again, di ko rin siya na tinapos. Nasa fourth course na ako. Yung which is yung parang pinaka-assessment niya na or parang capstone course niya na. nahirapan kasi ako sa clustering, eh. Clustering kasi yung naging assignment sa akin nun. So, clustering plus yung may map ka pang gagawin dun. So, gagawa ka ng parang clusters to identify yung mga nearest spots on each cluster. So, that's a little bit of technical aspect na, pero that's just the overview of the project that was assigned to me during that when I took that course. Pero okay, di ko nga natapos. Pero yeah, I learned Python, and totoo yung sinasabi nila na kapag natutunan mo isang bagay tapos di mo ginagamit, malililimutan mo. Kasi after learning that, taking that course, parang di ko na siya ginamit at wala akong naging exercise dun ah, sa mga pinagkakagawa ko dun sa course. Parang di ko na-appreciate yung application niya. Ayun. Yeah, so afterwards, yun nga, di ba nag-resign na ako sa eto, nandito na ako, eh. Nag-resign ako dito sa role na 'to, communications coach. This is where I started to become a business system support. Ninaktawan ko 'tong dalawang 'to. Later on, I'll discuss this. Pero ito yung next kasi na naging job ko, business system support. This is with Colabera. Familiar with Colabera? Ayan, di-disclose ko na rin yung mga companies ko, 'di ba? Well, available naman siya sa LinkedIn ko. So, sorry, I'll just open it, ha? Bear with me. There, let there be light. Ayan. So, yun, I started with Colabera last June 2020 as a business system support. So ang kinokonsultahan ang company na sinusupport namin nun is a big pharmaceutical company. So puwede ko na bang hindi, wag na lang, sige. Basta big pharmaceutical company siya. It's known in the Philippines naman din, and may naging big issue rin siya. So I don't wanna disclose the company name. Pero yeah, ang role ko was more on master data administration. Sorry, not administration, pero siguro more on parang master data maintenance, ganun. So we have a Salesforce. We have Salesforce. Familiar naman kay Salesforce, no? So parang customer relations CRM tool siya that we are using. And that's where we are encoding new product data. So for example, meron kaming bagong product, i-create namin yung product record na yon sa Salesforce para kapag nagkaroon ng customer complaints about that product, matatag natin yung case na yon sa product na yung product na yun sa case na gagawin natin for the customer complaint. So ayun, that's the story of creating a product record in Salesforce. So ang naging job ko noon was again, people are requesting for new products to be created in Salesforce. Then, ang ginagawa ko is i-validate ko yung mga requests nila by checking if the data is correct. Um, for example, may barcode yun, di ba? So yung barcode na yun, double check namin if they're correct. Meron din yung mga other details, the product name, the brand name, and all those stuff. So yeah, that's my job basically. So taga-validate lang ng product request. Pero that's just a smaller chunk of the job. I also did couple of things like first yung pinaka major project na ginawa ko doon. Pasensya na kung may narinig yung mga pusa right now. But yeah, the major project that I was involved with in that particular in that company was to cleanse the product data of a regional of a certain region sa EMEA. Ayun, so medyo madumi kasi yung data nun, eh. So, yung product details hindi standard, yung product, hindi yun nga may format kasi kami sinusunod, hindi siya standard. So, ang ginawa ko lang, naging involved ako sa parang, holistic na cleansing nung data na yun. So, it's a text data, so gamit ko lang nun is Excel, so it's really challenging. Kasi yun nga, di siya gano'n ka-automatic, and you can't really automate the process, if you don't know much about other tools. So kaya Excel talaga gamit namin nun. Um, yeah. I was also involved with creation of several automated process, so which are one of my contributions to the company. Ginawa ko nun is parang meron kaming SAP data nun na dina-download every month. Ayun, ginagamit kasi namin siya as source of new products to be created. Tapos yun, gumawa ako ng process using Excel that automates the analysis of the SAP data para ma-identify namin yung mga bagong products that we have to create. So yun, more on macro din ginagamit ko dun. So, yeah, so yun, yung mga until now ata ginagamit pa rin kasi kausap pa yung isa sa mga ka-team ko nun eh. So yeah, they're still using the one that I've created to analyze SAP data. So yeah, it's really more of an Excel work and checking on validating stuff on validating requests ng mga uy, si Dominic. Validating requests ng mga BUs namin. So there, that's basically my job with Calavera. And around 2020, I think mga December na yata yun. So doon ako nakahanap ng pinakauna kong racket. So that's with Page One Media. So the official role, ito siya. The official role was data analyst. So part-time lang siya and I only lasted 3 months. Later on I'll tell you. Pero this is the role that I got from actually from a Facebook page eh. I think Facebook page. I think pwede ko naman siyang ipakita dito. Data analyst. This job. I think Philippines. Ay, di pa nila ako na-accept. Ay, oo nga. Hindi pa ako nag-join. Okay. So itong page na 'to, dito ako nakahanap ng first 2 rackets ko. Ayan. So this is the page. So first one, ito, yung data analyst sa part-time na 'to sa resume ko. Tatlakyan ko na lang. Yan. So again, 3 months lang ako diyan. Pero yeah, the role that I did was really to just create an automated process from a source. Iko-consolidate niya yung mga data na yun from multiple files tapos i-dump niya yun sa Excel. So again, using macro. So yun lang talaga yung project ko actually. The reason why I lasted only 3 months kasi wala silang clients doon. And of course, as a business, we have a lot of there's already 3 data analysts back then. Ako yung pang-apat. So, siyempre, since bago lang din ako, at wala naman kami clients, then I have to they have to let me go. Jefferson, do you have a question? Naka-mute ka or napindot mo lang? Sige, sige. Mukhang napindot lang yata. Sige, down ko lang muna 'to. Ay, shucks. Nangyari. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the reason why I only lasted 3 months. Pero this is the FB page kung saan ko siya nakita. Kasi ang ginawa ko dun is since I was still learning data, I looked for parang any volunteer jobs pa nga eh. Kahit parang ano lang, parang OJT, parang ano lang siya, internship lang siya. So that's what I posted. Pero I got racket. Ayun. So yeah, ayun, so yun yung pinakaunang racket na nakuha ko. So, data analyst role pero I only did parang analytics, parang automation sa pagko-consolidate ng data and combining them into just one single report. And then next role, actually racket din na nakuha ko is another data analyst role for a freelance din naman siya. I think from a healthcare company. Ayan. Ang ginawa ko nito is ito matagal 'to, almost 1 year 'to, eh. Tama ba, 1 year ba 'to? Parang di 1 year 'to. Pero yeah, ito yung naging role ko. So, it's a data analyst role. Pero sige, sige. Ayan, data analyst role siya. Actually, hindi siya data analyst talaga, eh. So, para ako naging developer nun. Nag-develop ako ng isang Excel-based registry. So parang data entry form sa Excel using macro and visual and user forms about hypertension data. So for example, if you have a patient um, and you want and pumunta siya sa clinic, ang gagawin mo is as a nurse, you will be taking the blood pressure, i-record yung record yung details si patient dun sa system. So ayun, back and forth yun. So pag bumalik si patient next month, pull mo na lang yung existing record niya. Tapos i-add mo na lang yung panibago niyang blood pressure monitoring. That system also records what do you call that? Medications, ng hypertension, pati diabetes if may diabetes man sa patient. So it's really more of a parang patient management system for hypertension. Ayan. So more on hypertension related data lang yung kina-capture nito. And also, this system has built-in reporting tools or parang reporting capabilities. It can extract annual or quarterly summary. Tapos meron din siyang parang indicators na kina-calculate and kaya niya rin i-list down yung mga patients na walang visit for the past quarter, mga ganun. So it's really an entire parang patient management system using Excel. Pero hindi to hanggang December lang. I think it lasted until actually March of last year lang. So almost 2 years yata to. Or 2 years siya. Tama ba? Ay, sorry. One pala. 1 year. Yeah, I think March to. Yeah, 2022. There. So yeah. Ayun. So ito yung naging work ko. Another naging tawag dito, naging racket ko din to while I'm still with Colabera. So with Colabera during December 2020 hanggang February 2021, tatlo yung work ko nun. So ayun. At saan ko nakita tong role na to? I'm not sure if dun din sa same page kasi nandun din yung ano eh. Ay hindi pala dun sa same page. Nakita ko to, yung role na to sa Project Sparta Group. Ayan. Well, Project Sparta Group kasi scholar din yung nakakita sa akin. So ayun, kaya yeah, so dun ko siya nakita. So there. Any questions ba muna about sa mga pinagkukuwento ko sa inyo? Ayan. So later on, I'll be sharing with you guys yung parang mga natutunan ko along the way and of course, yung mga naging challenges ko when doing extra hustles on top of my full-time job. To be honest, hindi siya madali. But later on, I'll show you, maybe I'll summarize the points that I got from taking multiple jobs at a time. Okay, so this was the second racket that I got. Actually, itong racket na to, bumalik siya this year lang. Ito na siya, sa pinakataas. Itong Project Associates of Software Developer. So, same racket ito. Pero enhancement na ng ginagawa namin dito. Pero later on, I'll talk about this one. Okay, so business system support pa rin ako until March 2022 or last year lang. Then I think it was about this time din. Parang dito ko na start yung isang small racket ko. So yung R development. So yung R naman na yon, nakuha ko siya from what do you call it? Upwork. Maliit lang yung project na yun, kaya pero minsan nag-a-ask pa rin siya ng parang support. So sa Upwork kasi may profile din ako doon. Pero hindi ko na siya ginagamit kasi nga wala akong nakikitang mga clients or walang tumatanggap sa akin mga clients, unfortunately. Ito yung naging lesson, ito yung mga natutunan ko sa Upwork, mataas yung standards nila sa paghahanap ng mga gagawa ng projects. So ang parang napapansin ko is dapat meron ka ng existing project para matanggap ka, ganun. Or you can also risk um, yung mga unverified accounts, just to have an experience. So yun nga, yun naging parang takeaway ko from Upwork. So either you risk working for an unverified account, which is I think okay lang naman, or you can parang yun nga, parang kailangan mo pa rin mag-join na mag-join or mag-attempt ng mag-attempt. So, yun, sa Upwork ko nakuha yung R racket na yun. Hindi ko lang siya nilagay dito since super small lang naman yun. Um, Pinoy kasi siya, kaya nakita rin niya ako. So, ayun, ang ginawa is parang ano na siya, isang simple model lang using R. Linear regression yata yun, or parang maraming models ang pinagawa for a single data set just to compare the models and all that. So, ayun. Tapos, after the project, parang sometimes bumabalik siya sa akin just to make request for another project to be developed. Similar project pa rin naman. It's related with finance. Yeah. So yeah, that was just the experience with that particular client. And then after all of these, I started with this company conglomerate, which is SM Prime na. Yung current company ko ngayon. I am a business intelligence specialist. Ang pinaka-role ko talaga is really more of creating reports and dashboards. Pero I will also got involved in ETL development using SIS. So kaya naging session ko last time is SIS kasi yun yung gamit namin. Um, so yeah, it's a great experience. I learned a lot of things in this company. Um, Doon ko na experience yung parang talagang yung i-develop mo yung lahat ng bagay from scratch. So sabi yung role ko nga dito para siyang full stack developer kasi ang pinaka backend namin is yung ETL tapos ang front end namin ay yung dashboard or report. So that's a concept of business intelligence. Ayun. So marami din akong mga ginawang projects. Yung mga highlights itong AML sanction screening. So we have our own sanction screening system for AML. If you're familiar with AML, that's anti-money laundering. Um, So every businesses have to or has to comply to the AML law. Dapat wala silang tinatransact or wala silang mga customers na money launderers or mga terrorists. Ganon. I created the system of the screening system, pati yung parang ETL na to. So, yan. And of course, sa BA development, we are using SIS. We also have Python projects, pero konti lang siya. Kasi what we wanna do is to just keep everything in just a single platform para, again, we are not all skilled in Excel, in Python eh. So for you to be able um, to pass on your project to another person, syempre, dapat maunawaan niya rin yung language. Kaya that's why we are only using one major platform as much as possible. And yeah, also, our dashboard system is Power BI. Meron pa kaming isang BI system pero hindi siya known. But yeah, this is one of the parang major things that we are also doing. Kasi yung isang BI system na yun, it's already there and medyo konting maintenance na lang naman. Yeah, so I'm still here in this company. I'm not sure when will I when I'll be leaving this, pero so far okay pa naman ako doon. So ayun. Okay, so good. Any questions ba about what I've shared? By the way, guys, again, feel free to open up your mic, your cameras. Okay lang. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts. And if you guys, especially if you are still trying to get into tech or data, uh, feel free to ask questions. May mga nag-reach out na pala sa akin asking if I do mentorship. Um, the answer is no. I don't do mentorship people. Pero nalalapitan naman ako sa mga katanungan nyo. So, if you have any questions or parang um, naghihingi ng directions kung paano kayo makakapag-proceed sa pinapursue nyo, feel free to ask or reach out through my Facebook page. Di ko lang siya minsan napapansin pero I am responsive pa rin naman doon. So, again, I don't officially do mentorship program kasi I don't have a program to follow. So that's the reason. Um, Tsaka um, I think medyo di pa ganun ka ready yung mind ko sa pag-mentor eh. So, but again, feel free to ask if you you have any questions on your next steps, you can also ask me about if this job is a good one. I can share my thoughts on that. Steps to take. I can give you some advice. Pero take it with a grain of salt. Just to, syempre, iba-iba pa rin perspective. I'm only gonna be sharing the things that I think is right for me, uh, or the thing that parang I've assessed based on my experience. So yeah, still it's gonna be your call pa rin naman to take the next step. But again, feel free to ask for some parang different perspective on whatever you do. Okay. Any questions before we continue with the man? Okay, so we have Dominic Pala right here. Hello, Dominic. Um, Also we have Ryan. Uh, of course, Gwyneth, Jefferson, JL, Joria. We also have, sorry, is it Keishi or Kaishi? Yeah, Lendil, Loretto, Marimar. We also have Pao, Potenciano, Princess Shira, and John Ronnie. Hello, everyone. And salamat sa pagsama sa akin sa session na to. So, ayun. Okay, so going back here, I only have two things to just share on my experience. Um, right now, I have another side hustle, which is I'm a Python developer for a freelance company. So, ano yung ginagawa ko dito? So, ay sorry, saan ko pala muna siya nakita? Ito, nakita ko siya sa online jobs page. Ito, online jobs page. Ayan. So, eto guys, medyo maganda yung market dito. Kasi parang konti lang yung mga competitors mo. And medyo konti lang yung work pero mga legit man. So here, if you would like, sorry, di siya sponsored, by the way. I'm just sharing where I got these jobs. Um, but yeah, this is where I got this job, Python developer. So yeah, it's this is what do you call that? E-commerce company. So ang ginagawa ko dito is more on process automation. Well, of course, that's what Python is for, right? I'm using Selenium for automating browser-related tasks. For example, signing in, logging out, parang yung mga user action na ginagawa mo sa browser. Ayun. And also, we are working with APIs para mag-acquire ng data. So, yung mga APIs na yun is more on e-commerce data na nakikita rin sa Amazon. Pero if you have worked with an e-commerce company, APIs na nag-generate ng data from Amazon. Yun yung kasi parang pinaka uh, source namin ng mga data. So, yun. So, more on scraping data about the sellers, about the orders, uh, products. So, yun. Yun yung mga ginagawa namin. Tapos, gumagawa din ako dito mga bot. For example, yung recent project ko na mabigat is, for example, I have a list of sellers. I will run this program para i-create na lahat ng mga products na binibenta ng seller na yon. Tapos for every new product that is being sold by that seller, sinesend na yung data na yon to Discord. Ayun. So it's an automated process. So scrape data from API, process the data, save the database, tapos send alerts to Discord. Ayun. So yeah, that's how I learned Discord bots. Okay, then ito medyo magwa 1 year na pala ako dito. Oh my gosh, wala ba akong increase? um, but yeah, uh, this just started last September. Right now June na, so magwa 1 year na ako sa September. Ayun, ito, I love this job kasi, I mean, this racket kasi weekly payout siya. Tapos, you're still being paid kahit wala kang ginagawa. So ayun. Pero yeah, may mga projects naman talaga na mabibigat. So, na medyo naglalas ako ng ilang linggo or minsan months kasi sobrang complicated niya. And this is my parang first major developer role. So, before kasi wala naman ako experience sa back-end development na full stack na end-to-end eh. So, eto, yung parang nag-train talaga naghasa sa akin or nag-expose sa akin sa mga projects that involve back-end development from start to finish. So dito ako natuto mag-document, dito rin ako natuto magbasa ng documentation, create ng README file, gumamit ng GitHub and all that. So mga gano'n. Okay, and last racket ko right now, I think bagong dating lang ulit. Kaka-start lang namin yung May. So this is a project associate job or a software developer role. This is the same as this one. Saan na ba? Pangit ang mouse ko. Eto. Yan. So dito, ako yung nag-develop ng system, di ba? Dito naman, i-enhance ko lang yung existing system na ginawa ko before. And dito ko na-realize na papangit pa rin ng code na ginawa ko. Um, pero yeah, that's what we are doing naman na. We are revising not the entire script, pero it's just really more of updating the backend. Kasi di ba dito, it's just really Excel. So you have an entire system developed in Excel, yung UI mo naka Excel, yung database mo, quote unquote, naka Excel. So there's really a lot of challenges here. Pero na push through naman or na fix naman yung mga ganong challenges. But here naman, we are moving from Excel to an Access database. So 'di ba medyo old school yung mga ginagamit namin. Well, just to give you a background, kaya ganito siya kasi um, since these are just clinics or parang health centers, wala din naman talaga silang ganun parang um, standardized na software to um, to parang to track all of the patient data. So pero yeah, that's why we have this particular project para somehow we can still um, manage or para collect and analyze the data that we have for hypertensive patients. So my specific project for that, pero I won't disclose much about that. Yeah. So right now, ginagawa namin is migration from Excel database or Excel worksheet papuntang Access database. So right now, okay naman kami doon. Nagagawa naman. Um, but yeah, so that's just the rule. Hanggang ano lang to, hanggang 3 months lang yata ako dito kasi yun lang yung kontrata ko. But yeah, that's uh, what I'm gonna be doing in this particular racket. So yeah, right now I have this job full time. I have this racket and this one. Pati yung isang development project na ngayon kasi may receive akong panibagong project na small lang naman. Um, so yeah, that's just what I have now. So there any questions ba about like siguro wala namang questions since it's just about my experience pero um but yeah, that's just how I got the job. So you might want to check on other FB groups. Ito, itong FB group na to, I would be I would be careful in um applying to jobs here. Kasi remember kanina, siguro for the sake of everyone na lang na wala kanina, nung yung term na data analyst kasi, if you look for a job that has a data analyst, you have to be careful in uh, applying for that job. Kasi most, not really most likely, pero there are chances na um, hindi yan data analyst na iniisip nyo. Okay, so hindi siya related to analytics. It might not be related to data science at all. So not really about what you are expecting. I've given us an example kanina, pero since we are already recording this, I won't show that role naman na. Pero again, this is the um, parang tips to ensure that that role is a legit one. So number one, check the job description. Ano ba yung job description? Is it just or what are you gonna be doing in that role? So um, always check yung mga parang ginagawa niya, like the tools na ginagamit, tapos yung mga day in the life niya. If the day in the life or parang yung job summary is just about you doing some reports or parang managing stuff lang or may SLA or whatnot, um, di siya yata accurate na data analyst skill. Let's have an example siguro. Data analyst, kasi lahat tayo sa LinkedIn para mas may elaborate natin ang content. Yan. May nag, ah, may nag-ask sa atin. Set ko lang. Okay. So, LinkedIn tayo. So, let's search for data analyst in jobs. Okay, there you go. May makita kayo mga ganitong roles. Okay, so let's see. So we have here data analytics and visualization. Yung role niya. Actually, the title itself is already good for me kasi there's the keyword analytics and visualization analyst. So most likely what you're gonna be doing here is um, data visualization, creating dashboards and all that stuff. Um, so always read the job description. So for example, ito, work closely with project leads, stakeholders, and then stand maintain focus analytical needs, including identifying outliers. So my in-depth analysis nga talaga siya. Proactively analyze data, key questions, and all that stuff. At kapag may mga nakita kang ganitong tools like SQL, VBA, Alteryx, and all that stuff, or Python Strata, mga ganyan, most likely tama naman yung tinatahak yung landas na data analyst naman talaga siya. Hanap tayo ng hindi data analyst. Meron ba dito? Piling ko wala eh. Ito kaya. Let's try this. So what will you be doing? Building and iterating campaign, performance dashboards. I think it's already good. Yeah, I think it's good naman din. Kasi what's the data analyst ba? So data analyst is you trying to, well, analyze the data, number one. Number two is, ang job din niya is usually to ensure the accuracy of the data, that you are presenting the right data. So actually yung role ko is similar to a data analyst kasi ang ginagawa namin is creation of dashboards, reports. Kapag for example, yung stakeholders namin may issue on the accuracy of the data, di ba nasa conglomerate kami, we're looking at leasing spaces. So there are questions about bakit yung leasing space na ito ay bakante pa, pero occupied na siya for this particular date. So ganun. Ganun yung mga questioning namin. Na receive namin. So more on data validation. Tapos we are also investigating the discrepancies on the data and all that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so yun yung parang yung role kasi namin. So hanap tayo dito ng iba. I think mo okay naman dito sa LinkedIn. May ETL na siya. So yeah, I think these are all good naman in terms of the actual job. Hanap tayo sa Google. Let's try data analyst. So kasi kapag nag-search ka ng ganyan, you would see this list sa jobs. So let's click this. Yan. Dito ako naghanap dati ng mga job na data analyst. Kaso hindi siya buo eh. Wala lang makita eh. Ito Cindy. Okay, siguro well, ito I think it's also a good it has the qualifications of a data analyst naman. Yeah. Pero ano ba yung mga gusto nating i-avoid? So siguro I just don't have an example. Pero what we have presented earlier is are good examples of a data analyst. So you could be working with dashboards, with reports. You're gonna be using tools to to create those reports and para ma-fix yung issues na yun. And more data validation as well, kung may mga discrepancies sa data, you will be investigating the um, on why we arrive at that particular data. Ayun. Dito naman yung mga gusto nating i-avoid is number one is kapag yung job is not really exposed to data. So for example, ang hinihingi lang requirements is you should be sufficient or proficient in Office. Microsoft Office yung term, not Excel. Kasi pag Microsoft Office, most likely parang gagawin mo lang dyan is documentation. Uh, para kang business analyst na nag, well, parang project manager lang yung magiging role mo dun, or parang you're just parang doing um, a clerical na role. So, ayun. Sometimes there are also jobs na data analyst that for a specific BU or department na ang ginagawa mo is parang anything that that department is doing. So more on the process lang na ginagawa ng department na. So wala talagang exposure to data. So you have to be careful uh, in identifying which data analyst role is the right data analyst role na hinahanap niyo. Siguro I'll be posting later on some examples para makatago ko yung mga company details kasi baka mamaya makasuhan tayo kapag nag-disclose ako ng mga bagay-bagay dito. And siguro just to share it with you guys, before kasi when I was still looking for a data analyst job, I was looking at a certain company talaga na gusto kong pasukan. Doon ko nalaman na parang hindi porket data analyst yung role, it's a data analyst role. So I'll share some examples siguro later on. Sorry, maybe later on sa page ko na lang. Okay, yeah, that's just pretty much my experience um with my journey towards where I am now. And the next thing that I would like to be sharing is what are the things that I've learned about side hustling. Um, number one, mahirap siya. So you have to really be parang to be okay. I mean, be good in handling your time. I'm not really good in handling my time. Minsan kasi actually kanina ko nga lang sinend yung yung invite for this session eh. So medyo naging busy lang kasi lately. Pero yeah, that's one fact that you have to consider. So if you are gonna be taking a side hustle, uh, make sure na allotted yung oras mo or parang alam mo kung saang oras mo siya gagawin. In my case, I have a 8 to 5 job. Fixed man siya. Di naman kami nag-OT. I'm from Baclaran. So okay naman talaga siya. Like wala akong problem sa commute ng super problem. Pero of course, it's still stressful to commute here in the Philippines. Ayun. Pero yeah, all in all, in my current full-time job, wala naman akong ganung ka-problem outside the working hours. Sa iba kasi 'di ba parang um, after the working hours, parang kailangan pa nilang sumagot ng mga emails, makapag-OT, napuputol yung sound. How about now? Is it better? Sige, let me know na lang kapag na-issue ulit. Thanks for letting me know, Pao. Yeah, so yun nga. So in my job naman again, it's good kasi I'm not that stressed on the expectations like kung 8 to 5 lang ako, 8 to 5 lang ako, wala naman akong OT and all that. Minsan kailangan namin maging online on a weekend, pero that's only when we have weekend loading. So 'di ba sa ETL meron yang daily loading, meron yang pwede yung magkaroon ng monthly loading. So yung monthly loading kasi medyo mabigat sa amin. At kapag natapat ng weekend yon, we have to be online para mabantayan namin yung job. There. And yeah, so consider your full-time job. If yung full-time job mo is okay naman, stress-free or stressless siguro. Wala namang stress-free na job siguro. Pero yeah, if you can manage effectively your full-time job, then maybe try taking another hustle if you want to, na outside your business hours. Actually, pwede mo siya pagsabayin. I had this experience before na may meeting ako from a racket na ginagawa ko, which is yung um, data analyst na for the e-registry. Tapos that meeting happened during my work hours. So na-take ko na pa naman siya since wala naman akong meeting nung time na yun sa full-time work ko. So yeah, pero that's something that you have to consider. Dapat talaga walang conflict as much as possible kasi um, yun nga, ikaw yung malalagay sa alanganin. Ganun. Yeah. Next siguro is um, never take or parang look at the nature of job. As much as possible, don't take jobs that or side hustles that have so much meetings. Um, yung daily stand-up ng mga meetings is actually I'm not a fan of it. um, Kasi siyempre it's just yung daily stand-up kasi namin sa data analyst sa e-registry job ko is it's taking at least 30 minutes of my time. So I'm not really a fan of meetings, especially in daily ones. Lalo kapag minsan wala namang updates. So if we can cancel naman, then we can cancel, di ba? So, pero all in all, hindi talaga ako fan ng daily meetings. Ayun. So yeah, um, that's just one thing that you would want to be considering when taking a racket. Dapat as much as you can, up to you. Pero for me, I don't want to take those jobs na sobrang daming meeting. Ganun. Kasi everything naman can be done virtually via chat. And this is my thinking eh. If you can think, for example, if they're asking for a short call or a short meeting and similar, why can't you just send that via email, di ba? So why can't you just send that via a Teams message or a Discord message? So why does it have to be in the form of a meeting, di ba? This is just me because I have some social anxiety or kines, okay, ganun. So takot talaga ako sa calls. Ayan. But yeah, so that's my point. Kasi hindi ako naiirita sa mga short call pero di masabi sa email or sa message. So, di ba? Ayun lang yung point ko. Yeah, kasi it's still taking your time. Kung sinabi mo lang yung via chat, I think that can already be done in the next hour or so. So, instead of you taking the 30 minutes for that call, 'di ba? Parang pwede mo naman siyang gawin or pwede mo siya sabihin siguro heads up on. And if we really need to meet just to clarify things, dun pa lang mag-meet, 'di ba? So yeah, look at the nature of the racket, um, the time as well. So yung mga racket kasi diyan, may makita kayong time zone. So for example, yung racket ko now with the Python developer role, um, ano yun, Eastern time zone siya. So okay naman, which is gabi naman. Paggabi na tayo sa'tin dito sa Philippines, umaga dun. So, probably that's a 12-hour interval. So, buhay naman yun. So, wala naman tayong magiging sagasa nun. Um, Time, ano pa ba? Another aspect is yung effort or yung parang work mismo. Gaano ba ka-heavy yung work na yun? Kasi kailangan mo rin yun malaman kasi you also have to consider your pay. Kasi may mga naging racket din kasi ako that it's really stressful, it's really demanding, and there's a lot of things that we are doing pero the pay is not really it's not really good. Ayun. And yun yung naging parang challenge ko in one of my rackets that hindi ko na sabihin pero yung isang racket doon is hindi ako nabayaran doon ng buo. So yeah, my bad din naman kasi wala kasing kontrata. Ayan, hindi ako naging expose sa kontrata pero there were some issues dun sa payout nun. So, kaya yun, inayaan ko na lang. And that's something that I don't want you guys to be doing. So that's why if you are taking rackets, always make sure na clear yung payout nyo, tsaka yung clear din yung parang project deliverables nyo. Kasi these two are not clear, then you'll burn out yourself. So magiging stress kayo dun sa job na yon, and every day you'll be you'll be complaining about that job. So, ayun, just be mindful of the deliverables tsaka specific payout kasi it's really important kasi um, if gumagawa kayo ng work for someone, syempre dapat mababayaran kayo. If you're doing it for parang for the sake of portfolio, siguro okay lang, but don't take too much workload. Kasi if parang sobrang dami ng pinapagawa tapos ang gusto niyo lang naman is portfolio, siguro that's already unfair for you. So, okey lang again, okey lang magkaroon ng gano'ng project na free for the sake of your portfolio. Um, Yun na lang din iniisip ko dun sa job na yun, eh. So, para magkaroon din ako ng portfolio and experience. Um, pero yeah, don't take, or don't allow them to give you so much workload. So for the sake of portfolio, give them just or just take some portion or parang some simple project, then out on the next ones, magbabayad na kayo, ganun. So, ayun. Thankful naman sa mga makikita niyong racket sa mga job page like this, in LinkedIn, in online jobs PH. Lahat naman to nag-o-offer ng salary naman yan. But still, you have to be careful with the uh, getting scammed. So far, malinis naman yung mga naging ano ko dito, transactions ko dun sa mga sites na yun. Yeah, again, nature of work, the time or the time zone na kailan ka mag-work. Um, to add lang din kung ilang oras ka mag-work sa isang araw. There are people who there are questions na nakikita ko online na worth it ba yung dalawang full-time job? To me, kahit remote kasi siya, ang hirap niya, eh. So parang it's mentally draining. It's there's a lot of you would really need to manage your time in the most effective way para hindi ka ma-burnout. Pero it's impossible kasi it's 16 hours eh. So 8 plus 8 at 16, and let's say na magkahiwalay sila time zone, na for example pagkatapos mo sa first job mo, start ka right away sa second job mo, mahirap siya pa din kasi again, that's an entire 16-hour shift, right? Kung magko-coincide naman like for example, 8 to 5 ka rito tapos for second job mo is let's say 12 to 8 or something. Um, Paano kapag may mga conflicts ka in between those 4 hours na nag-intersect sila? So that's something that you really have to consider. So as much as possible, or if you can, go ahead, di ba? So wala lang point. I don't want to stop you naman for that matter. Pero as much as possible, for the sake of your mental wellness, don't do it. Ganun. Kasi tatlong work yung ginawa ko na before. Isang full-time, dalawang part-time. Pero sobrang stress na ako dun. So, ayun. So I just don't want you guys to have that much of burden, emotional burden to yourselves. Yeah. So yeah, nature of work, time, uh, yung actual deliverables and your payout. So there, I think those are the four things that I want you to consider when looking for a side hustle. Um, I am categorizing my hustles now into number one, healthy rackets. Ayan. Healthy rackets is it's paying me well. Um, when I say well, it's enough. Ayan, hindi naman super lucky or super super extravagant. Pero parang for me it's enough. Ganun. Um, pero I don't get um too much stress from that work. So yun yung parang criteria ko for a healthy racket. Another classification is well, it's counterpart, unhealthy racket. Ayan. So ang unhealthy racket naman is when you are not being paid enough pero super stressed ka sa work. So ang daming demands, ang daming demands, ang daming um, requirements, pero you're just gonna be paid for this month, for this amount. Um, so yun, you just have to be careful with taking the second one, or most likely hindi mo talaga siya ma-encounter until you get that job. Pero that's something that you guys would like to. I would want you guys to parang try to decipher, or parang to um to know. Say if you guys are just if you're unaware na parang sobra na kayo na i-stress. So yun, baka mag-breakdown na lang kayo bigla-bigla. So always assess the rackets that you will be getting. Um, if okay ba tong i-retain, or kung ano din yung mga sobrang nai-stress kayo. Kasi parang yun nga, if you guys are so much stressed for a racket, tapos hindi naman kayo nababayaran ng husto, so it's just not really worth it eh. Ayun, you can get a racket na sobrang chill, pero you're still getting paid enough naman. I have this colleague in my current work na he has this web developer kasi siya. So he has this multiple rackets. So ang ginagawa lang niya parang ano lang, minor maintenance lang talaga, update ng mga packages and softwares. But still yung stream income niya, it's still good. So ayun, it's I think one of the things that I'm trying to pursue. Kaso sa data kasi na role, I think walang ganun. Parang ano eh, walang ganun level, walang ganung nature of work na parang maintenance na lang yung gagawin. Um, ayun. So, kasi for many of the data roles, lagi siyang enterprise level. So parang laging full-time job ang hanap kasi they will be asking you to create pipelines, they'll be asking you to create dashboards, and all those stuff. Um, pero parang di nga siya ganun unlike sa web development kasi na parang pwede ka lang mag-build ng website, you're paid na. So mga ganun. So yeah, that's just one thing that I want you guys to always think about for your upcoming rackets. Okay, so always assess which ones are healthy and which ones are unhealthy. Um, ayun. Pero paano kung natututo naman lang sa dalawang ito, sa unhealthy na racket? Ah, siguro okay lang, but always still parang prioritize yourself kasi if natutunan ka naman, parang di naman niya mababayaran yung bills mo, right? So, that's just one thing that I want you guys to always think about. It's okay lang naman din to focus on the payouts din, not just on the learning. Kasi, syempre, you're doing the racket for extra hustle. So, for extra income. So, yun. All right, good. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Raise your hand if you would like to parang ask the question you, um, personally or verbally. I'll go lang. Okay, may nagta-type. Sige, send ko rin pala 'tong mga 'to. Ayan. That's online jobs PH. Ito yung data analyst job. Dito sa data analyst job, be careful din pala guys kasi madami dito data entry lang. So, actually madami pa nga dito na nakakalusot ng mga scammers eh. Alam mo yung mga networking gano'n. Ayun. So, be careful lang. Ano pa ba? Ah, I think doon na tayo sa last item na ay sorry may nagtanong. Having a portfolio is a big plus po talaga para makahanap ng bracket 'no? Ah, portfolio. Hmm, sa talking about the data stuff, or data related racket. Number one kasi ang hirap gumawa ng portfolio sa data kasi ano ba yung pwede natin magawang portfolio kay data? Articles, dashboards, ano pa ba? GitHub na nandun lahat ng codes mo. Okay lang naman kasi yung nag-apply ako kay current work ko, yun din yung mga pinakita ko, eh. So, okay naman daw siya. I mean, nakita naman nila yung skill ko dun sa ano. So, yes, important pa rin siya. Pero in terms of racket, siguro okay pa din, yes, I would say. Kasi yung sa racket ko naman, well, actually yung racket ko kasi ngayon na nakita ko sa online jobs PH, meron na akong PI na role nun. So, it would help pa rin. So in general, yes, it would help. Anyone here who's currently working on their portfolios, raise your hand or message kayo. Ayun, meron si Gunes. Sino pa? Wala na? Okay, sige. My question pala ito. Hi, Josh. Since you have experience in ETL process development and other stuff, what are your tips for someone who wants a job into the data engineering field as a career shifter? What specific technical skills or methods should I obtain to have a higher chance of landing a job? Okay. Number one is you have to be good in SQL. Number yeah, SQL. Um, select, where, yung mga ganun. Tapos, stored procedures, tapos tables, um, primary key versus foreign key, mga ganun. Yung parang SQL talaga in all sense, in all aspects. Kasi yun yung kagamitin niyo talaga sa data, sa mga ETL pipelines. Um, Python, is it really required? Actually, it depends. Kasi yung design ng ng mga businesses ngayon, they have their own ETL platform. So in our case, we have SIS. In others, it could be a cloud platform, BigQuery, ano ba yung, kay Azure, ang ETL niya yata is data, nalimutan ko tawag. Pero may ETL platform din si Azure, meron din si Google, and of course Amazon. No, so yun, may mga platforms sila, and those platforms are really just more of you trying to configure the settings and all the and the jobs inside your packages. Hindi siya talaga heavy to be honest. Pero the concept and the understanding of databases is really important kasi yun yung pagbabato niya ng data. So kung paano kayo kukuha ng data, that's one thing. And the number two is how you would pre-process it, which is yun doon papasok sa ETL. And how would you load that into a database or into target tables. So yun yung pinaka-concept ng ETL. So yeah, SQL would really help. And learn a specific ETL platform kasi yun nga yung mga ginagamit nila ngayon. They're not really building everything from scratch na by code, SQL lang ganun. They have their own platform. Um, and I would also encourage you guys to search in LinkedIn. So for example, ano ba yung mga hinahanap nila dito? For example, ito Alteryx, ito, Tableau. Ito naman, ano kaya? Tableau, ito may Python siya. Pero di siya required. Ay, required pala, sorry. AWS and big data na gamit nila. Ako gusto mo ng requirements nito. May masters. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Walang nakalagay. Pero yeah, just try to look at the job description. Kung anong um, available sa kanila. So, or if you guys are targeting a company, look for the job description, know the requirements, at yun yung aralin nyo. Pwede naman din. Pero ito pa, if you guys have learned an ETL platform, most likely, alam niyo na rin yung conceptual process ng ETL. At mas madali na lang siyang i-incorporate sa ibang tools. So that's similar with learning another language. As long as you know the concepts of a programming language, moving to a new programming language would be a little easier kasi alam mo na yung concepts. Like for example, paano ko gagawin yung for loop dun sa C Sharp? Paano ko gagawin yung paano ko create ng function kay JavaScript, yung mga ganun. So, if you know an entire ETL platform, as long as you know the concepts and the things that you will be doing in an ETL platform, then learning another platform would be slightly easier than kasi alam mo na yung concepts, alam mo na yung mga gusto mong gawin, at alam mo na yung mga yung flow of thought mo nun. Right. So yeah, you can also watch my sessions sa SIS para you can get started with that. Um, yun. Okay, okay. Good, good, good. Other questions pa? Mm. Okay, sige. Let's siguro to conclude na lang the session. How can you get started with side hustling? Number one is of course you have to know at least you need to know parang uh, how to implement a specific project from scratch. So for example, ako lagi kong binebenta nung nag-apply pa ako sa mga data job is I know how to build or how to perform data analysis end to end. Read data, exploratory data analysis. I can also do machine learning, data visualization, um, tsaka prediction, forecast, and all that. So kaya kong gawin yun in Python. So yun yung lagi kong binibenta. So as long as you know how to end a specific project from end to end, then that's good. That's the first requirement. Kasi syempre, ano yung ibebenta mo kung wala tayong skill na alam, di ba? Or wala tayong current skill. So yun, that's one thing that that's what one thing that you have to really prepare for. You really need to be skilled on that specific aspect that you are trying to pursue. In JL's case, parang gusto niya matuto ng gusto niya i-pursue data engineering, na dapat marunong na siya sa SQL. Kung gusto niya na mag-racket, uh, SQL, reading, yung crude functions, creating tables, creating procedures, creating views, yung read, select statements na may filter, update, and delete records. Yung mga ganun. So, yung parang pinaka end-to-end talaga ng ETL. If you are pursuing data science, then you'll probably be you'll you'll probably be needing to work on Python kasi you will be working with data, tapos you will be working with data pre-processing, how to clean the data, parang how to convert the data into a different format, tapos of course the machine learning part. So you should know sklearn, at least uh, differences between classification and regression models, um, ano yung difference, ano yung mga metrics na pwede mong gamitin for classification and regression and all those stuff. So, yun, parang end-to-end talaga yung kailangan mo matutunan kasi syempre, um, yun yung gagawin mo, most likely. But of course, if you know just the fundamentals, still try to pursue or try to apply for those jobs. You wouldn't know if you would qualify if hindi ka mag-apply, di ba? So, this is my takeaway in my current job now. Yung in-applyan ko dito sa current job ko, sabihin ko na SM, ang role na in-applyan ko talaga is data scientist. Yung role doon is 5 years experience, parang knows how to present to stakeholders, ano pa ba, parang mga ganong requirements talaga like dapat may ganong alam mo yung Python and all those stuff. So yun ang in-applyan ko. Ah, so try lang, 'di ba? Wala namang mawawala kung try tayo, 'di ba? So nung nag-apply ako, then nakakuha ako ng interview. Ah, well, syempre since di pa ako gano'n ka-experience for that role, I was given a BI role, which is, I would understand din naman kasi yung experience ko back then was aligned with, with data, um, with data na parang more on pre-processing and creation of dashboards and all those stuff. So yeah, that's just really one thing that you guys should always still try kahit na feeling nyo hindi kayo confident for the role, feeling nyo parang hindi nyo kakayanin. So still, uy shucks, ano yan? Ba yan, maiipis. Always still try to apply for that job. Don't gatekeep yourself. Yun nga yung sabi ni Kuya Dev, di ba? So, ayun. So always try na mag-apply until maka-land ng job. Okay? So next, ano pa yung kailangan natin i-prepare? So let's say you already have the skills, you already have the knowledge, at least the fundamentals. Next would be try to create a little, uh, first your resume, syempre. ito yung resume ko. Ito yung ginagamit ko 'pag nag-a-apply din ako. So ayan, tinatago ko lang yung mga numbers, tsaka yung mga, email ko. Pero yeah, this is the resume that I'm using to apply to jobs. Um, Naka-bullet lang naman siya. Yes, gamit ko is PowerPoint. Hindi ako nagamit ng Word kasi mas madali mag-format dito ng mga bagay-bagay. So 'yan, as much as you can lagay niyo lahat ng mga roles, ayan. Nilalagay ko rin dito yung mga, racket ko na parang talagang full-time sorry, racket na na talagang mukhang racket. Hindi siya yung parang isang project lang gano'n. Or puwede niyong ilagay dito parang freelance kayong developer or whatnot. So, pero yeah, that's just put all your experience, especially na yung mga bagay, yung mga roles na may talagang exposure dun sa gusto niyong i-apply. Dati, nung wala pa akong experience, eto lang laman ng resume ko, hanggang dito lang. Ang ginagawa ko, etong role na 'to kasi ang dami kong experience dito kay Excel. Nakapag-develop ako ng mga calculators, mga scorecard, hina-highlight ko, nakalagay yun sa description ko. So, naka-highlight na marunong ako mag-macro, VBA, ah, I can create calculators, report generator, consolidator, and all those stuff. So, yun yung mga hina-highlight ko talaga dito. Nung wala pa akong role, wala pa akong racket related na, um, wala pa akong related na job for data, ayan. Ayan, resume. Ang ginagawa ko din is naglalagay din ako ng qualifications kasi medyo para may space lang. Kasi masyadong blanko kapag wala pang ganyan. So sa qualifications, ito generalize lang. So programming and automation, ito yung mga languages na alam ko right now. Um, Data visualization, dashboarding, SQL development. So siguro ilagay niyo din yung mga technical skills that you can um, that you can use on that particular job. So for example, if it's a data engineering job, you know how to develop, you know SQL and databases, 'di ba? So parang not just the basic select, but you also know how to create tables, define, um, how to create stored procedures and all those stuff. So yan, parang itemizing talaga here, at least in my case, this is what I'm doing. I'm itemizing the skills that I have that will definitely contribute to the role that I'm applying for. Naglagay ako ng tags. Ewan ko kung kasi minsan kasi parang ang ginagawa nila sa resume nila is that, they're just putting this into a screening system. Tapos i-summarize niyo lang 'yun, tapos siguro magko-come out sila ng parang score, about your resume. So kaya mahalaga sa resume niyo guys na aligned dun sa hinahanap nila. So yung mga keywords, nakakatulong 'yan. 'Yun. So lagay-lagay lang kayo ng mga keywords dun, para kung gumagamit man yung HR na yon ng yung company na parang HR resume screening system, then you'll probably get more chance of getting interviewed, gano'n. Okay, aside from your resume, of course, try to, make your own portfolio or parang projects that you could present. Dati nakalagay siya dito sa akin actually, pero tinanggal ko na siya kasi siyempre nagkaroon na ng laman yung aking resume, salamat naman po, ayan. So dati ang ginagawa ko dito is meron ako ditong parang, projects dito, nakalagay diyan is projects, projects. Yan, tapos dito nakalagay yung yung LinkedIn article ko, tapos meron ng GitHub, ah, na repository, yan. Minsan ginagamit ko rin yung RPubs. Ano yung RPubs? Ito yung parang server na puwede ka mag-ano, na um mag-publish ng mga articles mo using R. Kasi kay R, puwede kang create dun ng mga articles using Markdown, ayan. Search ko yung ginawa ko, RPubs Josh Baldaleon, ayan. Ito yung mga ginawa ko dati. So, puwede mong ibigay 'tong link. So, ayan, meron akong efficient frontier using R. So efficient frontier is for finance. So ano yung composition ng mga portfolio mo na pwede mong i-allocate para mas ma-maximize mo yung returns, gano'n. And so may mga code and may mga math formula ko nilalagay diyan para mas mukhang astig. May mga graph there. So practical random forest. Ito may Plotly. Ito may mukha sa PowerPoint kasi si R, pwede ka rin gumawa ng mga PowerPoint presentation doon. Ayan. So, click-click mo lang yan. Yan, di ba? So, Plotly to. So, pwede mo siyang ganyanin. Plotly is an interactive data visualization framework. Yan. So, ganyan. Di ba? Stick there. Ito yung random forest. And there. So, whatever you think of or parang kung ano yung gusto yung gawin as much as you can, display those projects in your resume. Kahit yung links lang, okay na yun. Um, I'm not sure kasi kung sa data kasi usually resume pa rin naman talaga yung kailangan natin. So basta mahalaga lang doon sa resume nyo is nandun yung mga links to your portfolio. If you have a portfolio website, then better kasi dun mo makakonsolidate lahat ng mga projects mo. Meron na ba dito na merong portfolio website na? Ako kasi wala talaga. And mukhang wala na akong balak gawin kasi gagawin ko na lang siguro is sa GitHub, ayusin ko na lang talaga siya. Wala naman akong domain kasi mag-assess there. So yeah, projects, yeah, for your portfolio. So that's also one thing that you have to be ready. Kasi syempre, ang naging experience ko sa interview ko dun sa new work, sa work ko ngayon is I walked them through my project. So I told them ano yung mga ginawa ko, ano yung pinaka-favorite kong project, and there. Ano yung mga project na pwedeng gawin is, saan niyo siya pwede pala i-publish muna. So pwede kayong gumawa ng articles kay LinkedIn. Actually, okey din dun kasi siyempre makita din ng network mo. At kung ikaw ay nag-a-apply, um, makikita din yan ng mga recruiters na gumagawa ka ng mga gano'ng ano, ng mga gano'ng, um, projects. So here, ito yung mga articles na ginawa ko kay LinkedIn. Saan na ba yun? Paano nga ba yung muna dito? Ano, hindi ko makita kung saan yung mga articles. Pero dito, pwede kayong gumawa ng articles dito. Ah, yeah, mamaya i-share ko kapag nakita ko na. Okay, pwede rin kayong gumawa ng articles sa GitHub. Ang tawag yun is GitHub Pages. So, GitHub Pages, yan. Ito static web page lang 'to. So, para ka lang gumawa lang din ng article, pero at least hosted siya sa GitHub mo. So, yan. May mga steps naman dito and there's a couple of guides naman for you to look up para mag-guide kayo on how to make your own um, article in GitHub. Ano pa? Ito RPubs kung nag-aaral kayo ng R, it's really easy to publish your articles in R. Ang gagawin niyo lang is make sure lang na-compile niyo na yung markdown niyo dun sa R and click publish lang and it should be ready naman. So, yan. I'll be sharing these ones para meron kayong link to or parang guides on how to, parang link to kung paano kung saan kayo pwede mag-dump ng mga projects. At kung ano mga projects ang gusto niyo gawin, as much as possible, choose projects that are relevant. Relevant. For example, um, ano ba yung mga relevant projects that you could also sell to the business? Like, um, for example, itong project ko ngayon na AML, pwede akong gumawa ng parang internal or parang internal. Pwede akong gumawa ng parang personal project that performs sanction screening. So, ganun. Pwede ring um, if you are in a call center, pwede kang gumawa ng PP ng quality scorecard. Yun yung ginagawa ko before, quality scorecard. Tapos pwede kang gumawa ng scorecard generator, yung parang performance score ng mga agents every month. So pwede kang gumawa ng parang generator ng mga scores nila. So at least you don't do the manual scraping of the data, tapos calculation of the data. Ano pa ba? Anything that's relevant to your field na talagang feeling nyo is kayo interesado mismo dun sa ginagawa. That's really important kasi siyempre kayo yung gagawa. So kapag wala kayong interest dun sa ginagawa niyo, hindi niyo siya matapos. So yeah. All right. Lastly is siguro one thing that also I think helped me a lot is yung comms skills. Siyempre, yung sa comms skills, parang um, you can also be working with many people not just Filipinos. Especially for us, laging hanap natin sa remote work. So being good in communicating um, is really beneficial kasi syempre you can explain yourself to your clients. You don't have to um, parang someone to parang guide you through or parang maging mediator nyo pa ng client nyo tsaka ikaw. So instead of you, it's actually better na parang marunong kayo sa English and how to really deliver the projects and explain your projects in the way that can be understood by your clients. So galing ako sa call center, medyo naging okay naman sa akin yung ganong parang concept na parang naging madali naman yung um, pag-enhance ng skills ko dun sa comp side. Ayan, so it's really helpful kasi it's one of the parang soft skills na tinatawag nila pero it's not really a soft skill, it's a hard skill. Um, pero yeah, it's really irrelevant kasi syempre, how can you um, say something to your client na um, about your project, di ba? So parang you really have to be skilled in business communications. So for example, if the project is not feasible, syempre you have to tell them na parang it's not feasible. So you have to give them justification and alternatives. So yung art of communication is really important in being a freelancer or in handling your projects or in working on side hustles. So ayun, just kasi syempre you have to justify everything that if you would be rejecting certain projects or if you would be taking project and asking for parang or a raise or something, di ba? So yeah, language is really important talaga. So ayun. Okay. All right. Any more questions? I think that's pretty much it in this session. Yeah, any questions? I hope na may mga tulong naman kayo sa aking kwentuhan session. So I'll be sharing the links again, yung mga to, uh, LinkedIn, create how to create your LinkedIn article, how to create your GitHub page in um, in GitHub, tapos your RPubs if you are into R. Ayun. So yeah, I think that's just it. Do you guys have any question? Hey, I make a type. By the way, pala guys, next month I'll be doing a Python session. So it's gonna be in ET. I'm thinking of developing an ETL pipeline using Python. Pero inisip ko pa kung i-tackle ko rin yung pag-create ng package. Yun. Kasi masaya yung gumawa ng package yun eh. So, ayan. Pero by next month, I think I will only be doing one session. Uh, yeah. Kasi medyo may gagawin akong mga bagay-bagay next month. Yun yung nagkatanong kanina. Or may nagka-type kanina. Goal lang. You can also, ito. Thanks, Josh. Looking forward to it. Thank you, JL, for attending. And thanks for everyone for attending. Ayan, sige, I think we're done. Can you guys open your cams? Let's just take a quick picture. Ayan. Oh, carry lang ba? Picture tayo. Pang-post lang po sa Facebook. Stop recording ko muna. Wait. Ayan. Ayan, okay.